Hey everyone, it's EA.
And MJ.
And welcome to Unlawful. Today's episode is about a case that dates back about 37 years ago. A case of few suspects, little media coverage, and lots of questions.
It has been named the worst unsolved mass homicide in Alaska state history, the Craig, Alaska murders of 1982.
Here we go.
This is the story of the fishing vessel named the Investor.
Okay, so to start off of our retelling of this terrible story, we have to go back to September 6th, 1982. It was a chilly fall day in a small fishing village called Craig in the state of Alaska. The Cole Thirst family, the family of a well-known commercial fisherman, and some deckhands mysteriously died on their fishing boat, the Investor. And to this day, the murderer has still never been found.
Really? Never been found?
Yeah, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, let me describe the Cole Thirst family to you. The family consisted of Mark, who was 28, and his pregnant wife Irene, who was actually also 28, and their two children, Kimberly, 5, and John, 4. There weren't lots of pictures of them, but I found one, and they look like your everyday average family, actually.
I'm looking at a picture of them right now, so I could give you a few descriptions.
So in the picture, you can see Mark and his wife on the left side, and Mark's hair is the typical 80s bowl cut hair, shaggy. His wife and him both have glasses, and then there are his two children, Kimberly and John, on the right side. They both have almost the similar hairstyle, but Kimberly has braids and John has a bit of a bowl cut, and they have blonde hair despite both of their parents having dark brown hair.
The hair reminds me 100% of any 80s movie.
Yeah, honestly, not a family I'd picture when you say a commercial fishing family.
No, not at all. But I guess I don't know very many fishing families. But in Craig, Alaska, they were very well known. They spent thousands on their fishing boat, and so I'm assuming they were pretty into it. Their fishing boat, the Investor, actually was more than $500,000, about $850,000 to be precise, and recently bought.
Wow, that is a whole lot of money to drop on a boat, especially for a 28-year-old who has a pregnant wife and two children.
I know, right? And despite being so young, Mark was actually super successful. Most of his deckhands and most of the people in Craig actually knew him and sometimes wanted to be him. One of his deckhands, specifically named Keown, his brother, after he passed, he said, that Keown always talked about wanting to be like Mark Colthurst.
Wow.
He was a fisherman based in Blaine, Washington, which is only a day's drive away from Alaska. His reputation and success is one of the many reasons why this case is so confusing and so shocking.
Oh my gosh, we got so up into his boats, I forgot this was a crime podcast.
Yeah, this is where the bad part comes.
Oh no.
On the next day, September 6th in 1982.
So that was just a small clip of my new podcast, Unlawful. I hope to finish editing the whole episode by next week, and I will post it on Google Classroom. And I'd love it if you'd give it a listen.
Research for this podcast was done by Emily Cousineau. Credit for the podcast jingle goes to Brecci Music, and editing for the podcast was done by Emily Cousineau and creative writing class of CHS. Thanks to Nancy Lord, Leland Hale, Johnny Dodd, and Adam Carson for all the facts of this case. And special thanks to Madeline O'Hara, Matt Roman, Madison Chinavar, Gabby Udell, Olivia Simon, and Katie Moore for their support, and to Corey and Angela for their recording space.